Hi, I'm Margaret Lembo, and it's time for another little mini workshop. And I'm so excited to share about the sacred circle with you. This is such a special time of year. So, for many, many years and many, many moons, I have been blessed to have facilitated sacred circle gatherings in Ocala National Forest. It was in the 90s and the early 2000s for about 13 years in a row. Every the first weekend in November, which sometimes fell on, this time, because every year it's a little bit different where the first weekend falls. And we'd go up to Ocala National Forest at the 4-H camp, Camp Ocala, for a workshop that I facilitated. And during that time, we built a medicine wheel. And the medicine wheel teachings were shared with me through written material, like Sun Bear's book, Teachings of the Wheel, I think it's called. Really excellent material. And also through other native teachers who shared their knowledge of the positions of the wheel. Plus, I did research. So, as you can see on the screen, the medicine wheel is a teaching tool. It's in the shape of a wheel that contains 36 positions, although it can vary depending on what culture and where it is, what part of the world, what philosophy, as far as which spiritual philosophy. And each one of those positions provides a story and also helps you connect with the cycles that we spiral through daily, monthly, yearly, and even throughout our lifetime. So the teachings of this wheel are much like a map to understanding all life. And so here is just a little throwback to some of the various types of gatherings. Just a few here. There's so many photos, but on the upper right-hand side, back in 1992, that was down in Big Pine Key, the 1111 Sacred Circle gathering in Big Pine Key. And then on the left-hand side, you can see one of the fire ceremonies from being up in Ocala National Forest. And then the bottom side, you can see I'm there in the red shirt and the black pants by the lake, closer to the lake behind me. And we were walking the medicine wheel. We had just built the medicine wheel and we walked the wheel and I told stories for every single one of those rocks. Every stone has a story and an animal associated with it. So this little picture on the upper left side is just something I found online that depicts a medicine wheel. If you just took any ordinary stone and put it together, put stones in a specific way, which is there is an outer wheel, and the outer wheel, there's four quarters with three moons in each quarter, and you'll see more of this in a moment. There's pathways to the center, and there's also a center um, circle, and then creator is in the middle. And on the right hand side, you can see pictures of some of the actual medicine wheel rocks that are right here in the angel room with me. I'm here in my store of 33 years, the Crystal Garden, the Palm Beaches, and the medicine wheel rocks were painted by Victoria Rose Martin, which I'm very grateful for that. They're beautiful. And they help to keep track of where they go and where they are placed in the medicine wheel. Here's a picture, a very low resolution photo, because was taken probably with a flip phone. And this is when we built it back when we had green carpet in the angel room. But this is to give you a sense of how we would build a wheel. But after this was built entirely, then we would tell more stories and sing songs during the workshops. This could go up to 4 or 5 hours even. So to get a more of a sense of the medicine wheel teachings or the sacred circle teachings, the way that you see it here, I include archangels as part of the teaching. And in the east, Archangel Michael, the color is blue. It's where the sun rises. New beginnings, infancy is a time of life, and it's to see life from a greater perspective. When we have a new beginning, we can see things with new eyes. Then Archangel Raphael in the south, the color is green, And the vibration of that is the place of healing, healing of our hearts, healing of our emotions, healing of our relationships, and all our relationships, including the one we have with ourself, the relationship we have with ourselves. Sometimes we forget about that. And this is the place where the sun is the hottest. It is the place of the actual summer solstice. In the east, it was the vernal equinox, and then the south, it's the summer solstice. And the time of life is like adolescence. When you go to the west, Archangel Gabriel is in the west, and this is the place of introspection, going within, and that's actually in the wheel of life, the annual wheel. It is kind of where we just are past. We just passed it, which is the fall equinox, and so the time of day would be like 6 p.m. And then the time of life is maturity. But this is the place where we go within ourselves to know the truth and that we have the answers within. And then Archangel Uriel is gold vibration in the north. And this is the place of our ancestors and all those that have walked on this path before us, those that are still here on the planet and those that have already passed. And this is the place of getting ready to leave this wheel and start a new cycle, a new beginning. So the north is wisdom, very much wisdom. And it is the time of day would be midnight, and the time of year would be the winter solstice. So that gives a very general overview, right? And then if you notice, there are 3 moons in each quadrant. So there's each, because we have 3 moons with every quarter. And so that's represented in the medicine wheel as well. So in the East, now these are little excerpts out of my book, the Animal Totems in the Gemstone Kingdom. I start to share and explain about the Wheel of Life in that book, but it's not a book about the Wheel of Life. It's just a little segment of it, and appendices, if you will. So there are different animals that hold a vibration based on their qualities and their characteristics that fall in the pathway. See how there's a path at the east? So you come in the path. So if you were walking this wheel, imagine that the stones are laid out on the ground or in a room, and you would walk the wheel, you would enter through the east, and when you walk up the east pathway, it's mostly birds or beings or animals, I would say, that could see life from a greater perspective, from a higher perspective, like eagle, hawk, and owl from a higher perspective. And you can also see that Archangel Michael helps us with that as well. And so as we go on to the south, we have this vibration of healing and also love. So Archangel Raphael is in the south and the vibration is green. And I always like in the south to have coyote, and that's not necessarily listed here as the excerpt of the book. But it's coyote and snake, because coyote helps us with laughing at our mistakes. We Coyote's like a trickster. So there's a story that I like that's from the Medicine Cards by Jamie Sams and David Carson. And of the Coyote card is where Coyote um, stands in front of a steamroller. Now this is very much, a very fun little story. And the steamroller, so he's standing in front of it and going, what is this? Why is this here? I wonder what this is. So the steamroller steams over, you know, and goes over Coyote and smushes him. So kind of like a cartoon, the coyote gets up, shakes himself off, and then goes and stands in front of the steamroller again and says, that was interesting. What is this doing here? So this is this is the short version of the story, but it's sort of like how we are in life, where we keep repeating the same little thing over and over again. We keep going, oh, that's interesting. Let me stand in front of that steamroller one more time. And so the teachings of the South are when we can look at ourselves standing in front of the steamroller and laugh at ourselves because we've created this pattern and wake up from this, the realization, wake up from the situation and have a realization that we keep stepping in front of a steamroller. So that's one of the teachings of the South. And snake is a very good energy for the South because of the way that the skin of the snake is transformed off of it, and it shows that we have different layers of consciousness and we go through different realms of healing and learning and evolving while we're here on planet Earth. And then in the West, um, Archangel Gabriel is in the West, and the vibration of this, my my favorite little story is about Spider Woman, and the Spider Woman who is not a cartoon character. I'm talking about a sacred being, supernatural being that is revered by the Dene, the Navajo, and the Hopi as one of the creatresses of the planet and all beings on the planet and the trees and the animals and the forests and the mountains and such. And Spider teaches us that we have the ability with our thought forms to create. Like there was a period of time where, and they may still exist, I don't know, where there were people, typically women, they were called twisted hairs, and they would wear their hair in buns, like on the sides of their heads, and they would tell stories, but the stories had a lot to do with helping people think. And when you think, it creates a wrinkle, like a wrinkle in time, a wrinkle in your consciousness, in your reality. So you start looking at things from different perspectives. And when you let yourself go into thinking in different ways, you can transform and create the reality that you truly want, because we create. In fact, there's a song. Let's see if I can sing this. I think I've done this before for you guys. It's spiraling into the center of a dream. Spiraling into the center of a dream. We are the weavers, we are the woven one, we are the dreamers, we are the dream. We are the weavers, we are the woven one, we are the dreamers, we are the dream. When we realize that we are the one that weaves our own reality and that we are the dream, we create our dreams, then we can create the world that we really want. We design our reality. So that's one of the teachings of that quadrant. And then we have the north, where our ancestors and all those that have walked on the path before us. So this has a lot to do with ancient wisdom and ancient knowledge. I look at this quadrant and this direction, I should say, this portion of the wheel, where it's kind of like we just did, which was, for those of you that were here for the meditation or just watched the meditation. So if you're watching a replay of this on YouTube, be sure to check out the meditation that's right before this video, because this is an opportunity to connect with our loved ones that maybe have a message for us or want to help us remember how much we really are loved, and that we have wisdom stored within ourselves and our bones and our muscles. And we are, in fact, part of a lineage. We have people all behind us, all of our ancestors stand behind us, and we have access to all the things that they've learned. That expression, been there, done that. Well, they've been here and done this, and they could offer even um, downloads of ideas and consciousness to how to deal with certain situations in life. So why not access that, right? I think so. So to get a little bit more information here. I wanted to share, like, if you wanted to look up a little bit about an animal, like, so hawk would be in the east. So I went ahead and just took a snippet out of this is a picture from the Kindle version of my book. I couldn't find my PDF of my book, but I opened up my Kindle version and did a little snippet. So this is just one page of it. I think it's 3 pages. But it starts out with asking a question. So, are you able to look at life from a higher perspective? Have you made the effort to petition the heavenly realm for guidance and assistance? Do you desire a loyal life partner? So, working with the hawk totem, you can contemplate those questions, but also work with labradorite. Labradorite is a great stone for the reflective quality, mirroring what for us to see ourselves more clearly, which is a lot what hawk medicine is about, is looking at ourselves from an objectively from another perspective. So owl also is one of the animals in the east pathway of the sacred circle. And so the animal or bird owl is often um, a great totem. I think so because I feel like it's one of my main totems for seeing what isn't so obvious, for tapping into what's lying beneath. So let's take a look at this. This on the owl side of the card is the affirmation. Hidden intentions, masks, and illusions are revealed to me. So that's a positive thought form that you get the opportunity to have these hidden intentions revealed to you, which that knowledge now goes on. Knowledge and wisdom regarding secrets are revealed to me when needed. Only when needed. There's no need to eavesdrop on other people's energy field or anything like that. This is more about when you need to know something, that information is readily available. And then the next one is I acknowledge my intuition and trust it. I wish all of us could do that, myself included. I do it pretty well, but I hope that you are too. To believe yourself, to believe your own intuition, because in retrospect, I bet you anything that you've realized something, and then when you look back, you go, "Oh, geez, I knew that. Why didn't I believe myself?" Right? And then it is my intention to improve my spiritual sight and clairvoyant capabilities and abilities. So clairvoyance or spiritual sight is an aspect of seeing that where it's like you see things that maybe in your inner vision doesn't have to be literally seeing anything with these eyes but more your spiritual eyes. So in your inner sight you may get one example. Here we go, here's an example. I love when stuff drops into my consciousness. Is when, let's say you're talking to someone and all of a sudden you think about a scene in a movie, but the scene in the movie tells a story. Pay attention to what the moral of that story is and how it might relate to your connection or relationship with that person. Hopefully that made sense to you, but check that out. So as you can see, the blue tourmaline side of the card gives even more information, but we have a limited amount of time here tonight, so I'm going to go on to the next one, to the south. So I know I'm blessed with many dog-loving friends and colleagues and readers, people who like to read my books or are followers of me as an author. So I decided to choose dog, which is one of the ones I love for the South anyway, because of the vibration of loyalty. And that's what part of the South is our relationship with ourselves and being loyal, not only with others, but relationship of loyalty to ourselves. And on the dog side of the card, I love these positive affirmations. Of course I do, I wrote them, but either way, I just love positive thought forms. I attract loyal people into my life. I cultivate and maintain meaningful relationships. Notice I did a little extra cultivate. Cultivate. Sometimes we really need to, more often than not, we need to take time to really cultivate our relationships. I am loyal and faithful. I am blessed with great friends, companions, and colleagues. I feel that way. I'm so grateful. Wasn't always that way. I had to work towards being the dreamer, right? Dream my reality into existence. I willingly desire my love and my life. I willingly share. Sorry, I'm trying to see this little print here. I willingly share my love and my life with others. So that's about being available to others, being open to having good relationships. And that is the vibration of the South Pathway, one of the vibrations of the South Pathway in the sacred circle. So, snake, the snake card. I like this. This is the black obsidian arrowhead as the matching gemstone. As you can see, iolite, which is a gemstone that reminds me also of sapphire. It has to do with loyalty. So now with snake, the black obsidian arrowhead, snake medicine, it's safe for me to feel my feelings. Feelings of anger, sorrow, and grief will pass as I release them from my body. It's easy for me to transform and transmute challenging life situations. That is a very favorite positive thought form for me, especially when life is intense. It's easy for me to transform and transmute challenging life situations. I also have to say I like amethyst for that, not just black obsidian. It doesn't have to just be an arrowhead, it could just be black obsidian. But I like to use amethyst for transforming challenging situations. Spiritual initiations have taught me and improved me. So we've all gone through, sorry that I'm having tiny print. I don't want to come up to the screen. Probably should have opened the book. Um, but we go through times of our life where we're having an initiation. We may not realize we're having a rite of passage. And that spiritual initiation is an opportunity to improve and to grow. The South is a place where maybe need to be grace under fire, because it is the place where it's hottest. That's the element of the South is fire. There's elements for each one of the directions as well. A new cycle offers new and happy promise, a new cycle. So often we think when change is afoot, it's so intense. I don't want change. Change. We were just talking about this today, that often change, if not always, often, always, like that, I keep going back and forth with that, presents a great opportunities for the future. And so sometimes we just have to work through the change, and it's always a much better life situation. So now in the West, this is the place of introspection. We're still in this West energy. It starts with the fall equinox, and then we have where we are now. So we're in the cross quarter between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. We're halfway up to the winter solstice right now. And that's why this is this place where we are, which is the northwest quadrant of the sacred circle. It's a place to go deep within our own consciousness to know truth. And so I chose bat medicine, which galena is the matching gemstone, and bat affirmation is I go within to retreat into the deep caverns of my consciousness. We learn so much when we go into that great void, the great mystery. I see the silver lining and have faith in the transformative power of change. There's change again. The transformative power of change. I'm grounded and focused and tuned in to the universe. And so often when we let ourselves be quiet, so those of you that have been enjoying and taking advantage of the quiet mind meditations, this gives you an opportunity to pause for just like 15 minutes once a week to let yourself tune in and go within yourself to know truth, Challenging situations have been transformed. That's a good positive thought. And goodness has been revealed and restored. Yay. And so, Rabbit also, for me, is a good place on the Western pathway of the sacred circle. And I remember when my author mentor, Ted Andrews, was here at the Crystal Garden doing a little workshop. It was beautiful. He's such a wonderful man. He's on the other side now. Thank you, Ted, for all you've done for me. He's the one that introduced me to Llewellyn. In fact, I dedicated my first book to him because it's because of him that Chakra Awakening was picked up by Llewellyn Worldwide. Anyway, so Ted taught me about rabbit medicine, and everybody that was here in this room at the Crystal Garden, that when rabbit shows up in your life is to pay attention to the moon cycles. That's one of them. And the other thing is to pause, stop, do nothing. If rabbit shows up on your path, it's often a message to just do nothing. Sometimes we think we always have to take action. Sometimes we do need to do nothing. So rabbit teaches us to freeze, if you will, pause. Freeze isn't maybe the best word, but that's what they do. They freeze. And then just be quiet and keep to yourself in regard to whatever was, on in your life situation until the next moon, full moon cycle, 28 and a half days later. Wait another 28 and a half days to take action. So that's the story that goes there. And then the north. So in the north, the energy of butterfly. Butterfly is so often associated with an ancestor visiting us. When a butterfly goes by, I know so many people that think of butterfly medicine as, oh, that's mom, oh, that's grandma, that's Uncle Joe, or whoever, And so butterfly is in the north pathway and over into the northeast quadrant as well because of the way they go from chrysalis to a cocoon, from a cocoon into the full-blown butterfly. So butterfly here, I embrace the hard-earned lessons of the past to catapult me into a bright and positive future. I said catapult, funny. I embrace the hard-earned lessons of the past to catapult me into a bright and positive future. So we have, by the time you go all the way around the wheel, you start at the east at infancy, go up, around this from this up to the south, down around to the west. You're now already been through adolescence, adulthood, and then maturity in the north. And so we have a life pretty much of experiences. You can use those experiences to understand and use that as a stepping ground for the moment now as we get more and more wise with our years. And notice the phantom quartz here. In fact, this crystal is in my home, in my showcase in my house, and I just placed it so that it was in bright light. And this phantom quartz is a crystal that shows a phantom of another crystal growing within it. And this helps you to look within, to recognize that there's something even deeper, that we've grown to a certain point, and then we go, I think I know what I need to know. But then we realize, oh no, I have so much more to grow. And then we catapult forward and up, more and more wisdom and more knowledge. So let's see if there's anything else I want to say here. Change is good. I recognize that all changes bring better life situations. There it is again. Opportunities constantly present themselves to me. I recognize opportunities and take immediate action. Take immediate action. So often, people, not naming any names here, people in general, will see an opportunity, realize that there's a change afoot, and then be too frozen in fear not to take action. And we do, it's a blessing when an opportunity arises and then that we're shown and taught certain things, and then it's best to take action in that moment and move forward. I'll leave it there. See how that applies to your own personal life. And so dolphin also has to do with the north, also because of the communication, mind to mind and heart to heart communication. I always think of dolphin medicine as communication that is through from once from the other side to here, or from animals to us. So we have this ability for interspecies and interplanetary, interdimensional communication. So that's a vibration of the north doorway. So I took a little bit further just so you could see what the inside of the book looks like. Now, agreed, remind you, this is a picture from the Kindle version, not the actual book, because the actual book looks more like that. Okay, so it's just going to look a little different. But I wanted to show you that with inside the book that you can learn these different teachings that are at different positions within the wheel of life, the sacred circle, that there's information about the animal, the vibrational matching gemstone, and what that's about. Then also what the divine influence is, so what archangels might be related to that particular animal and gemstone. Uh, the location where it's located on the wheel of life and the sacred circle, things to contemplate. Contemplate this. A message, divination from the butterfly, an affirmation from the butterfly or whatever the animal is. So this is consistent throughout the whole book. And then a message from the gemstone, and then additional ideas for other vibrationally matching gemstones for that given animal. And it's chock full of appendices and good information in the back as well, just so you know. So if you wanted to delve into this more, if this is of interest to you, you could find out more in my book, Animal Totems in the Gemstone Kingdom. We're done for tonight. I want to thank you so much for watching. Next week we'll have another guided meditation at 5:45 Eastern Time, and then next week is the Gemstone Oracle. So in the Gemstone Oracle, we're going to pull cards. I'm going to pull cards. Kate is going to be my lovely assistant, as she always is, and get your questions ready. It's not fortune telling, it's for inspiration and ideas. So if you have an area of life or a situation that arises, I can pull a card and see if there's some inspiration for you. It's a lot of fun. And also, for those of you that may or may not know, that immediately following this, we're about to start right here in the Angel Room. You can get a first look at the new crystals, new gemstones, what books, incense, statuary, wind chimes, so much more. We have some really beautiful things on the table tonight. It's every Tuesday night, starts in a few moments, 6:30ish. So it's 6:32 now. So we'll just be finishing this up, and then we're going to go right into the shop, the Crystal Garden from home. And if you don't want to spend any money, you can just enjoy the time with us and learn, because I teach more while we're also sharing about the different gemstones. I hope you'll join us. Go to the Crystal Garden Facebook page. All right, thanks so much for watching. May your days be filled with blessings and love. May the angels light your path. Thanks for watching.